Jesus revealed, "The M on your palm enters the monad, the night before his crucifixion." Jesus gathered his closest disciples in secret. He knew the Archons were closing in. He knew his time teaching them was ending, and he needed to give them something the Archons could never erase, something written into their very flesh. He took Peter's hand, turned the palm upward, and traced the lines with his finger. "Do you see it?" he asked. "The letter M, the mark of the monad. You were born carrying proof of where you came from. The Archons can erase scriptures. They can burn libraries. They can rewrite history. But they cannot erase what's written in your skin." Then Jesus looked at each of them and said something the church would remove from every gospel. Not everyone carries this mark clearly. Only those who came from the monad as fragments carry the M on their palms. It's not a symbol. It's a signature, and when you learn to activate it, the Archons lose all power to perceive you. Right now, pause this video and look at your palm. Do you see the letter M formed by the lines? If you do, you didn't find this video by accident. You're a chosen one. You're a pneumatic. You're carrying the monad signature written into your flesh. And tonight, you're going to learn why the Archons fear that mark and how to use it to enter the monad permanently. The M on your palm isn't random. It's not something that develops over time. You were born with it, and not everyone has it clearly visible. Most people have fragmented lines on their palms. Scattered, disconnected, no clear pattern. But you, a chosen one, your lines form a distinct M, and that M is the monad signature on you. Here's what Jesus taught in the Gnostic texts that the church erased. When the monad fragmented itself to explore limitation, each fragment was marked, not metaphorically, but literally. The fragment was encoded into a human body, and that body carried physical proof of its origin. The M on your palm is that proof. It's the monad saying, "This one is mine. This one came from beyond the Demiurge's realm. This one is going home." Hylics don't have clear M marks. Their palms show chaotic lines because they were created by the Demiurge from material consciousness. There's no monad signature because there's no monad connection. Most psychics don't have clear M marks either. They have developing souls, but those souls were created within the Demiurge's system. But you have the MA, and that M proves you're not from here. You're not a product of this realm. You're a visitor, a fragment, a piece of infinite consciousness, temporarily experiencing limitation. The M isn't just a letter. It's a map. Look at your palm again. See how the M is formed by the intersection of your heartline, headline, and lifeline. Those aren't random. Each line represents a level of consciousness, and where they intersect to form the M is the portal point, a place where your fragment consciousness can reconnect with the monad. The vertical lines of the M represent the descent and ascent. The left vertical line is your descent from the monad into material form. The moment you forgot who you were and became identified with a body, an ego, a story. The right vertical line is your ascent back. The path you're walking right now is you remember what you actually are. And the two peaks of the M, those are the two states of consciousness you move between, human awareness and monad awareness. The M is literally showing you the journey from fragmentation back to wholeness. Jesus told the disciples that the M also stands for monad and memory. Monad because it's the signature of your origin. Memory because activating the M is about remembering, not learning. You're not discovering something new. You're recognizing something that's always been true. The Archons fear the M because they can't remove it. They've tried. They've created entire systems to make you forget to look at your hands. They've made palm readings seem like superstition, so you dismiss the significance of these lines. They've conditioned you to see your hands as just tools for manipulation rather than maps for navigation. But the M remains. Undeniable, physical, visible, a constant reminder that you came from somewhere they can't control and you're going back to somewhere they can't follow. The Archons can manipulate your thoughts. They can amplify your fears. They can inject shame into your consciousness. But they cannot alter your physical body beyond the genetic parameters the Demiurge set. And the M on your palm was encoded at the genetic level by something more powerful than the Demiurge. The monad itself marked you before you descended. The Archons can't touch it because it exists at a frequency beyond their access. Jesus told the disciples that the Archons had tried everything to remove the M from chosen ones. They experimented with genetic manipulation. They tried creating humans without clear palm lines. But every time a monad fragment incarnates, the M appears. Sometimes faint, sometimes bold, but always there, because the monad is marking its own property. Now let me show you the technique Jesus taught for activating the M on your palm. This is what he gave to the disciples the night before his crucifixion. The M on your palm is already active at a subconscious level. That's why you've always felt different. But when you activate the M consciously, that frequency amplifies, and at a certain level of amplification, you become completely invisible to the Archon system. Here's the technique. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Sit comfortably. Take your dominant hand and place it palm up on your lap. Look at the M really. See it. Trace it with your eyes. Follow the lines from left to right, bottom to top. Acknowledge that this mark was placed on you by the monad before you were born. Now close your eyes and bring your attention to the center of the M, the point where all the lines intersect. Feel that spot on your palm. Imagine that intersection point as a portal, a doorway. On this side is your human identity. On the other side is the monad, infinite, eternal, the awareness that you actually are. Breathe slowly and deeply. On Echinale, feel energy flowing into the M from your body. On Exhale, feel that energy being received by the monad. You're circulating it. After several breaths, you'll feel a shift, a tingling or warmth in your palm. That's them activating. That's the portal opening. Once you feel that activation, speak 3 words internally. I am monad. Not I'm trying to connect with the monad. Not I'm seeking the monad. But I am monad. Present tense. Direct recognition. The fragment recognizing it's the whole. The drop recognizing it's the ocean. When you speak those 3 words with the M activated, something fundamental shifts in your frequency. The Archons, who have been tracking you through your identification with limitation, suddenly lose the signal. You're still here, but you're broadcasting from a dimension they can't access. Practice this every night before sleep. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. After a few days, you'll notice the effects. The intrusive thoughts decrease. The shame dissolves. Reality starts organizing itself around you in ways that feel synchronistic. That's not luck. That's what happens when Archon interference stops. Your natural frequency, the frequency of a monad fragment, starts expressing without distortion, and the M on your palm becomes more than a mark. It becomes a key, and you're learning to turn that key consciously every single night. The first sign is that you start noticing the M everywhere, not just on your palm. You'll see M shapes in nature, in architecture, in random patterns. That's your consciousness becoming attuned to the monad frequency. The second sign is that emotional manipulation stops working. People try to guilt you, fear you, anger you, and nothing happens. You see the manipulation attempt clearly, but it doesn't hook you. The Archons do most of their harvesting through other people, but when your M is activated, you're broadcasting from witness consciousness. The third sign is that your dreams change dramatically. Instead of chaotic, fragmented nightmares, your dreams become coherent and clear. Sometimes they're teachings. Sometimes they're just you existing in different dimensions, without confusion. The Archons generate most disturbing dreams to harvest loose during sleep, but an activated M creates a frequency shield that remains active even in sleep. The fourth sign is that you feel lighter, physically and energetically. Like something heavy you've been carrying suddenly isn't there anymore. That's the Archon energetic hooks severing. They've had tendrils attached to your energy field since birth. An activated M dissolves those connections automatically. You've looked at your palm and you see the M clearly. But what about the people around you? Your family, your friends, your partner? What happens when you look at their palms and you don't see a clear M? Jesus addressed this directly with his disciples. You will walk among people you love deeply who cannot follow where you're going. Not because they're not worthy, but because they're not from there. Not everyone you love carries the monad signature. Hylics and most psychics are genuine souls with their own journeys, but they were created within this realm by the Demiurge. Your journey is different. You're not evolving up through the Demiurge's hierarchy. You're remembering you came from outside it. That's why you've always felt a certain loneliness, even surrounded by people who care about you. They don't have the M. They don't carry the homesick. But when your M is activated, you become a stabilizing presence for people around you who don't have it. You're broadcasting a frequency that helps them navigate their own journey more smoothly. You become an anchor point for a higher frequency that benefits everyone in your proximity. The loneliness you felt your entire life wasn't because something was wrong with you. You were homesick for a place most people around you have never been.